We've all heard the story. Moses goes up the mountain, stays too long, and the people get nervous. They take their gold, melt it down, and build a calf. But have you ever stopped to ask, why a calf? Why not a lion, or an eagle, or a giant statue of Moses himself? To us, a golden cow looks like a strange, random choice for a rebellion. But to the people standing at the foot of Sinai in 1446 BC, that calf was a specific, calculated message. It was a return to sender addressed to the God of the Exodus. Today, we're going deeper than the Sunday school version. We're uncovering the dark Egyptian psychology behind the golden calf, the secret God the Israelites were actually summoning, and the terrifying reason Moses made them drink their own idol. The Israelites had been at the base of Mount Sinai for weeks. Above them, the mountain was wrapped in smoke and fire. Their leader, Moses, had disappeared into the clouds for nearly 40 days. You have to understand the trauma of the Israelite mind. They had been slaves in Egypt for 400 years. That's roughly 10 generations. They didn't just live in Egypt. Egypt lived in them. In Memphis, Egypt, there was a deity called Apis. He was the herald of Ptah. He represented strength, virility, and, crucially, a god you could see. The God of Moses was terrifying. He was fire, smoke, and thunder. He had no face. He had no body. To a people who had spent 400 years looking at the physical statues of Egypt, an invisible God was exhausting. They wanted a God they could touch. They wanted old faithful when they told Aaron, "Make us gods who shall go before us." They weren't looking for something new. They were homesick for their chains. They were choosing the comfort of an old idol over the freedom of a new king. Aaron gives in. He takes their earrings, gold they had actually taken from the Egyptians during the Exodus, and he fashions it with a graving tool. But here is the detail most people miss. Exodus 32 verse 6 says the people rose up to play. In Hebrew, that word is eltsachek. It doesn't mean playing tag. It refers to the wild, chaotic, and often immoral fertility rituals associated with the Egyptian goddess Hathor, the cow goddess of music, dancing, and sexuality. Moses descends. He sees the chaos. He smashes the 10 Commandments, symbolizing that the covenant was already broken. But what he does next is the most bizarre part of the story. He burns the calf. He grinds it into powder. He throws it into the water. And he makes the Israelites drink it. Why? It was a chemical lesson. Gold is the eternal metal. It doesn't rust. It doesn't decay. By grinding it up and making them digest it, Moses was proving that their God was nothing more than biological waste. He was literally flushing Egypt out of their systems. The fallout was devastating. 3,000 people fell that day. It was a day of judgment that serves as a mirror to the day of Pentecost thousands of years later, where 3,000 were saved. So what does a golden cow from 3,500 years ago have to do with you in 2026? We all have an Egypt. We all have a place of comfort we want to run back to when God feels silent or when life feels too invisible. We might not melt down gold earrings, but we build idols out of our careers, our relationships, or our digital identities. The golden calf wasn't a mistake of the past. It's a warning for the future. You can leave your Egypt, but has Egypt left you?